put your phones down, gather your family together, hold them close, and listen up. Because what you learned tonight could save your son's life. Now, Tim and Tamia know exactly what these evil predators are capable of.
My 17-year-old son, James, was a wonderful child.
He ran track, 110 hurdles and the 300 hurdles.
James was on track to be #1 in the state of Ohio for Division II.
But he never got a chance to run his senior year.
He did the unthinkable, which was take his life. On November 18, 2022, a young lady contacted James on Instagram, asked if he wanted to see her topless, and his answer was yes. Then she said, okay, it's your turn. So he sent her a screenshot. Then the threats immediately started.
They sent him about 200 messages.
They said that they would release his picture to all the social media sites if he didn't send $6,000.
Message after message after message. We didn't know there was a problem until he was gone. November 19th, I get to my house, I see a light on in a room where there shouldn't be a light on. When I walked into the room, I see my son on the floor. I screamed, he didn't respond. I crawled over to him, I shook him a little bit and I laid on him. I just grabbed my phone and called my wife to let her know we just lost our only baby.
Oh man, I lost it. Because I couldn't understand, where did we go wrong? Like, what happened here? And why is my son gone? We were just dancing. I just told him I loved him and I was proud of him. And my son is gone. I couldn't believe it. Sextortion took my son's life.
Tamia, Tim, I want to thank you both for being here and talking about this. You're going to save lives by what you're doing right now, this minute. Let's talk about what happened. It was November 18th of 22, and James was contacted by a woman on Instagram, correct?
Yes, correct.
The first message was, how old are you and where do you go to school, right? Mm-hmm. So what you would expect from a peer, right? Tim, in piecing this together, how quickly did he discover that it wasn't who he thought it was?
It probably took him I want to say about 4 or 5 hours before he realized that he wasn't talking to the girl anymore.
What was the initial threat?
The initial threat was they were going to expose him to the world. You know, they had his picture. They said we're going to put it on social media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. They were just going to plaster him everywhere.
And that they owned him now.
Yeah.
His life was over.
And to a young man with this shame and this fear, I mean, this was a tremendous burden. What was his reaction?
Yes, extremely stressed. So all he had was cash on him, and it was a little over $100. So they coached him into going to get a gift card, and they video called him again, took the numbers from the gift card, and then had him discarded. But he still owed $200. And he begged if he could have more time. Why would you do this to me? I told you I was an unemployed student. He was literally begging for his life, for them to give him mercy.
When this was going on, like, you were with him at a college fair,
yes.
right? And you guys were together and
yes.
you were dancing and...
Yes, it was an amazing day. Like, we just were planning out his future.
Now, Tim and Tamia say that they had no idea that their son was just hours away from taking his own life when they saw him that morning. So you may think that your child is back in their room doing homework, playing a video game or whatever, and not know that these predators have gotten their hooks into them.
The FBI is tracking these scenarios, bad actors making contact through social media and starting a conversation in direct messages, eventually enticing victims to send compromising photos. Between 2021 and 2022, the FBI reports a more than 200% increase in cases in South Carolina, a 600% increase in North Carolina. Now, experts warn that technology like artificial intelligence or AI will help scammers supercharge virtual sextortion even more.
All right, I'm back with Tim and Tamia, and I wanted to look at exactly what was going on. These people were relentless, and thanks to you, we have some of these texts that we can take a look at. They're telling him, I am more determined to rot your life. I remind you, I have no pity to rot your life as well as yours. There's nothing you can say, there's nothing you can do. He says, I am a man of my word, and trust me, if you pay me $200 and you pay this, I swear on my mom's head that this nude video of you will be deleted forever. If this video of you naked is on the net, you risk having serious problems. So to avoid that, I advise you to do this that I ask you. So in case you try to turn off the camera or run away, I swear to God that you may regret it. Answer me if you really care about your life. If you're young and you feel shame and you're alone, then you feel trapped and you don't know where to turn, you don't know what to do. You walked in and found your son.
That is correct.
I can't even, people will tell you, time heals all wounds, you'll get over this. Let me tell you, you will not. You will find a way to accommodate, but you'll never get over this, and I'll never tell you you will. You'll find a way to adapt and get through it, but that moment is etched in your mind and heart forever, is it not?
Oh, yes, most definitely. I was told that time heals all wounds, and my response to that is it doesn't. There's a hole that'll never be refilled. That part of me is gone.
Tell me about the phone call when he had to tell you that.
So Tim and I, Tim just got off of work and he had checked in with me like we always do. He was going home, he was going to talk to James about how the college fair went, and he was really happy. I really heard a good positive vibe in my husband's voice. And not even 5 minutes later, I get another call and I hear tears in his voice, and he told me James is gone, and I'll never forget that. Because I'm like, what do you mean my son is gone? What happened? And he's like, he's gone. I'm like, can we I was thinking maybe we could take him to the hospital, when he was telling me this, maybe we could fix this, he was like, I gotta call you back, I have to call 911. And so I waited for him to call 911, and then he calls me back, and I'm waiting for him to tell me he's okay. And he was gone. I had to come to truth that my son was gone. Dr. Phil, and that's the worst news you could ever have. That was horrible for me.
When you think about the people that did this for a few $100s and the things that they said to your boy, is there any word other than evil to describe what they did?
They're beyond evil. Beyond evil. It's heartless. They're attacking our children. I thought kids were off limits, and they're not. It's how these grown adults are manipulating our children, are attacking our children, are insinuating and instilling suicidal thoughts into our children. To imagine what my son was going through, that 19 and a half hours that he was being tortured, I would never want any other kid to go through. Oh, I wish I would have known something like this. We are big educators. We talk to James. We are not the parents that say, don't do drugs because we said so. Don't drink alcohol because we said so. We always said, do not do this because here are the consequences. Here is what will happen. If we knew anything about sextortion, our son would be here today.
Yeah, we would have definitely had that conversation. We talked about everything. There was nothing we hid from him. We didn't sugarcoat anything. We gave him all the facts that he could possibly have. And every time when he was in a situation where he needed information, he got the information and made the right decision. This one particular time, it was just one of those times where he didn't have the answers he needed.
And what a fine young man, and
Yes.
headed forward in his life. He's an accomplished athlete, everything going his way. And they got to him, they can get to anyone.
Anybody.
And that is exactly why I'm here. That's exactly why I'm doing this show. That's exactly why Merritt Street Media is here. And that's exactly why we invited them here to do this, to save lives.